Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Quantifiers. Today's passage that we are going to be reading is coming from the domain of philosophy of mind, a little bit of artificial intelligence, some sort of cognitive science, and basically the whole of the argument is somewhere, or probably essentially, a Chinese room style argument, right? Which is again applied to chess engines. So let us read the passage and understand what the author is talking about. The recent triumph of Stockfish, a cutting edge chess engine, over Magnus Carlsen, the current world chess champion, has sparked a great deal of mystery and consternation in this day and age, which is characterized by the predominance of artificial intelligence. So, basically, what are we talking about here? We are trying to we're trying to talk about a parallel between two, champions, rather one champion. That is, we are talking about the victory over Magnus Carlsen, and also we are talking about the field of artificial intelligence. Somewhere we are talking about, right? And when the word here that has been used is consternation. Consternation means when we are talking about some sense of bewilderment. This word, when you are probably very amazed or bewildered. Bewildered means when there is some sort of a confusion. So when we are talking about this particular paragraph or these particular lines, so we are talking about some sort of great deal of mystery and bewilderment that is there as to how people reacted with confusion, right? To Stockfish defeating Carlsen. And then somehow they misunderstood what the AI's victory actually meant, right? We are going to read it further to understand. The widespread misunderstanding consisted of the assumption that cognitive intelligence in the AI powered software and its human opponent were on an equal footing. This oversimplification exposes a shocking ignorance of fundamental differences between human intelligence and the mechanism of computer. Stockfish, which is of course AI generated, lacks such a complex consciousness in contrast to Carlsen, who was engaged in a fierce battle of wits on the 64 squares of the chessboard, employing intuition, strategy, and a multitude of peripheral consideration. It was not strictly speaking playing chess, rather, it was merely carrying out operations that had been pre programmed. So, basically, what are we talking about in this particular paragraph? We are talking about the fact that when you consider human cognition, it is way too superior than something that has been generated through artificial intelligence, and that we are talking about the recent triumph of Stockfish, right? What transpired within Stockfish? It was handed an abstract array of symbols, each representing a chess piece's location and potential moves. The system decimate means to eliminate. The system eliminated chess elements of cognitive awareness with no comprehension that these symbols delineated chess moves or form of understanding. The symbols could have represented chess moves, a series of numbers, or being entirely devoid, that is, without significance. So basically, here we are talking about the fact as to what transpired within the Stockfish, what actually happened. And we are talking about how the system was being constructed with regards to an abstract array of symbols and how it represented the chess moves. But somehow, when you're talking about the awareness of it, it was merely symbols for that particular Stockfish. It wasn't something that was related to cognitive awareness. To articulate, that is to be very clear. Articulate is to speak clearly or fluently. To articulate machines' lack of comprehension, let us delve into a thought experiment. Imagine a man bereft, that is, without any knowledge of chess, confined within a room. His sole communication with the external world is a tiny slot through which papers adorned, that is, beautified, with incomprehensible symbols are delivered. Unbeknownst to him, these symbols depict chessboard positions. He possesses a table of symbols correlating these additional symbols indicative of chess moves. He deciphers, that is, decodes the received symbols, finds corresponding symbols in the table, transcribes these on paper, and dispatches it. A recipient of outside utilizes these symbols to execute moves on a chessboard. Assuming the symbol table, or rather the program, is proficiently devised, the man might triumph over his opponent. Observers might perceive him as a chess savant, that is, someone who's very pro due to his victories. A gross misjudgment since he doesn't understand chess at all. तो वो कर क्या रहा है? वो communication chess board के साथ या table के साथ कैसे कर रहा है? Through the symbols. He's just understanding those symbols and placing it randomly wherever those symbols are being marked. Is he using his cognition? No. Even if he is basically winning over his opponents, there is a misjudgment that he does not understand chess at all. He is probably being referred to as a person who's very pro with chess, but actually उसको chess का कुछ भी नहीं पता है. He is, in a sense, a human embodiment of computational system. No computer, even the most advanced ones, grasps the essence of chess solely by running a chess playing algorithm. So that means they do not have the cognition to understand. They are just driven by the pathway of the algorithm. And that is how they try to win over the opponent. So the whole passage is building upon the argument as to how Stockfish, a cutting edge chess engine, was able to overtake Magnus Carlsen, not because Stockfish was very fluent in terms of the cognition. It was, of course, Magnus Carlsen who was superior, but it was programmed algorithmically in such a way that it was merely carrying out the operations, right? It wasn't actually using intuition. It wasn't actually using a complex set of consciousness. When we take into consideration the repercussions, that is the negatives of this scenario, what kind of philosophical or psychological significance can be assigned to Stockfish? Its success bears an uncanny resemblance to the mathematical prowess of a pocket calculator. Prowess is the skill of a pocket calculator, which is an apt comparison given its nature. It does not crack the code of human thought process. Rather, it merely imitates them. So, what is the whole purpose of this scenario? Philosophically and psychologically, no machine can be given any sort of a characteristic. Forget about it being Stockfish. At the same time, we are talking about the fact when you're talking about playing with something that is driven algorithmically, like the Stockfish, which is a cutting chess engine, it is that this particular thing does not have any human thought process. It is just trying to imitate the humans. Is the rise of computational systems such as Stockfish an insult to the dignity of humans? Does the more advanced mathematical capability of pocket calculators put human mathematics in a lower class? Undeniably not. So even if you're using a computer, or sorry, a laptop, calculator, a pocket calculator, the calculations may be fast, but that does not mean that the human mind is not superior, right? Or the human mathematicians are put in a lower class. These phenomena are merely manifestations of a technological skill, that is prowess. They illustrate a capacity to design tools that augment, that is enlarge or supplant, overthrow our abilities, which enables us to perform tasks in ways that are more efficiently or in ways that go beyond our innate capabilities. So when you're talking about the capacity of these design tools, they are here just to augment, that is to enlarge your intelligence or maybe to supersede your abilities because they are very efficient. But that does not mean that they have the innate capabilities which humans might have, right? So the passage was a very interesting passage. Now let us read through as to what is the author talking about with regards to the questions. It can be inferred from the passage that the author would disagree with each of the following statements except. So in 3 points, he is going to disagree. It is only going to be point number, just 1 point out of the 4 in which he is going to agree. If we look at the first option, the essence of comprehending chess is rooted in conscious thought process. We are talking about intuition. We are talking about being very conscious. इसका mention author ने passage में किया हुआ है, right? Because it is not something that is pre-programmed. It is something that is happening now at that very moment, right? So complex consciousness के बारे में बोला. Stockfish exhibited a form of conscious participation. It wasn't any sort of a conscious participation. Rather, it was something जिसकी बोला गया है कि उसके अंदर consciousness होती नहीं है. Sustained triumph in chess necessitates strategic planning and capabilities inherent to cognitive process. This is again, अब यहाँ पे passage में हमें क्या बताया? Triumph किसकी हो रही थी? एक एग्जाम्पल एक ह्यूमन का दे रखा है who's been restrained to a particular room. स्टॉक फिश का भी बताया है, दोनों केसेस में दोनों जो है जीते हैं, ट्रायम्फ हुआ है, राइट? बट उसमें कोई कॉग्निटिव प्रोसेस इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, उसमें एल्गोरिदम इन्वॉल्व है, राइट? सो यहाँ पे जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट इज विद रिगार्ड्स टू द पैसेज, एंड पैसेज में हमारे को ट्रायम्फ किसका बता रखा है? स्टॉक फिश का। एंड जो एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे आपको दे रखा है, एक्सपेरिमेंट। Attaining success is cerebral in cerebral pursuits. Cerebral is related to mind, such as chess is integral to preserving human dignity. This is again something that is refuted by the calculator analogy. So the correct answer for question number 1 is going to be option number A. Drawing from the passage, which of the following capabilities can be attributed, that is credited to Stockfish, the chess engine? अब इसमें हम किस किस को जो है attribute कर सकते हैं? Now, if you look at option number A, forecast a chess rival's subsequent move through board interpretation. अब अगर हम ऑप्शन नंबर ए देखें तो ये तो डायरेक्टली एक स्टेटेड फैक्ट है, राइट? सो ड्रॉइंग फ्रॉम द पैसेज, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग कैपेबिलिटीज कैन बी एट्रीब्यूटेड टू स्टॉकफिश द चेस इंजन? अब ये एक फैक्ट दे रखा है, इट इज नॉट समथिंग जिसको हम चेस इंजन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, राइट? Pre-construct a full-fledged strategy prior to a chess encounter. ये भी जो है एक जनरल स्टेटमेंट दे रखा है. It has got nothing to do with Stockfish as a chess engine, because ये pre-construct वाला भी किसका एग्जाम्पल दे रखा है? वो रेसिपिएंट जो है वो सिंबल्स देख के एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा है अपने मूव को चेस बोर्ड पे, उस सिंबल टेबल को देख के वो कर रहा है, जो कि बहुत प्रोफिशिएंटली डिवाइज्ड है, राइट? सो ऑब्वियसली ये ह्यूमन लाइक कॉग्निटिव प्रोसेस है, ठीक? लर्न एंड अडेप्ट फ्रॉम एरर्स मेड इन प्रीसीडिंग मैचेस. ये अब आपका प्रीसीडिंग मैचेस का जो हमने बात किया है कि यहां से सीखेगा, तो ये कोई कंप्यूटर तो नहीं करेगा. कंप्यूटर की एबिलिटी कहां कहां दे रखी है? ट्रायम्फ इन अ हाईली कंपेटिटिव चैंपियनशिप लेवल चेस डुअल. दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द कैपेबिलिटी ऑफ स्टॉकफिश द चेस इंजन. व्हाई? क्योंकि यहाँ पे आपको जो इन्होंने एग्जाम्पल दे रखा है, कटिंग एज चेस इंजन था जहां पे उसने मैग्नस कार्लसन को डिफीट किया था, राइट? उसकी वजह से ग्रेट डील ऑफ मिस्ट्री जो है फैल गई थी, एंड दे वर बेसिकली क्वेश्चनिंग सम सॉर्ट ऑफ अ मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग कि भाई क्या कॉग्निटिव इंटेलिजेंस होती है एआई पावर्ड सॉफ्टवेयर में कि नहीं. सो ये जो है हमारा ऑप्शन नंबर डी जो बोल रहा है, पैसेज एक्सप्लिसिटली स्टेट करता है कि स्टॉकफिश ने, जो मैंने अभी आपको बताया है, वर्ल्ड चैंपियन को डिफीट किया. सो इट इज अ डायरेक्टली स्टेटेड फैक्ट. लेस if you look at option number A, B, and C, all these 3 points are basically talking about the characteristics that are generally humane or probably coming from the human domain. This is something triumph के बारे में in a highly competitive championship level chess duel का एग्जाम्पल सिर्फ और सिर्फ हमारे को स्टॉकफिश का दिया. बाकी ये जो है एक जनरलाइज पॉइंट्स हैं जहां पे वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ह्यूमन लाइफ कॉग्निटिव प्रोसेसेस, राइट? एंड ये तीनों चीजें जो है स्टॉकफिश में नहीं. Which of the following best describes what the passage is trying to do? Now, very direct question. If you look at the opening lines of the passage, what are we talking about? We are talking about some sort of how the AI generated platform, that is the cutting edge chess engine, defeated the current world champion. And इसकी वजह से काफी मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड assumptions जो है लोगों के अंदर आनी शुरू हो गई है, where we are trying to keep the AI powered software and उसका human opponent at a same pedestal, same footing. So ये पैसेज बनाया, उसके बाद पूरा हमने सेकेंड पैराग्राफ ऑनवर्ड्स रिफ्यूट किया है उस चीज को कि ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, they can never surpass the human intelligence. Dispel prevailing misconceptions surrounding the defeat of the world chess champion by chess engine. Correct. Highlight the relevance of technological progress that enhances our abilities, enabling otherwise challenging feat. We are not talking in the passage with regards to this. Concoct a thought, that is fabricate. Experiment, illustrating. ये सिर्फ एक example आपको दे रखा है. This is not what the author is majorly talking about. Content, that is argue that comprehending how a chess engine operates offer insights into human chess playing strategy. Nowhere can we understand from the passage कि अगर आपने एक engine को समझ लिया है जो कि आपका चेस इंजन है, तो आपको ये पता चल जाएगा कि जो ह्यूमंस है वो चेस प्लेइंग स्ट्रैटेजी कैसे रखते हैं। ये तो कहीं पे भी नहीं बोला। सो द करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन इज ऑप्शन नंबर ए. Coming to the last question, which statement most precisely encapsulates, that is, gives the summary of the primary intent behind the author's deployment of thought experiment in the third paragraph? Imagine a man वाला experiment क्यों दिया? अब क्लियरली हम लोगों को किस चीज के लिए दिया है कि सिंबल मैनिपुलेशन से, इवन इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड द गेम, बट यू कैन लुक एट द सिंबल्स एंड प्लेस द सिंबल्स वेयर यू फील दैट अ प्रोग्राम इज प्रोफिशिएंटली डिवाइस्ड। तो वो सिंबल टेबल से आप बाकी सिंबल्स को देके एग्जीक्यूट करोगे अपने मूव्स को। तो दैट जस्ट मीन्स कि आप सिर्फ गेम को एक गेम की तरह खेल रहे हो, कंप्यूटेशनल वे में खेल रहे हो, आप वहां पे अपने दिमाग का इस्तेमाल नहीं कर रहे हो। एंड अगर ऐसे इंसान को जो एग्जाम्पल में दे रखा है आपको, अगर आप उसको बोलते हो दैट ही इज probably a person who is very chess savvy, तो वो आपका गलत होगा बोलना, क्योंकि वो सिर्फ एक प्री प्लान्ड एल्गोरिदम पे चल रहा है। सो if you look at option number A, to advance the theory of essential parity between humans, no, he says there is no parity, this is just the reverse. To emphasize the common misbelief about computers understanding of chess, now यहाँ पे कंप्यूटर का कुछ नहीं था, यहाँ लॉक्ड रूम में जो है इंसान के बारे में बात किया है, राइट? सो वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द कंप्यूटर, कंप्यूटर पे तो किया नहीं था, वो तो पैरेलल ड्रॉ किया है। To propose that grasping chess is less complex than widely believed, he is not stating that. To assert that victory in chess game doesn't imply game comprehension, उसकी वजह से ये एग्जाम्पल हम लोगों को दिया है। So the correct answer is option number D. Now, even if the passage was very easy to understand, the questions were fairly devised in a way that would bring about some level of difficulty. Nevertheless, the passage remains to be very easy and very, very factual. So I'll see you in the next session with another interesting passage. Till then, like I always say, keep reading and enjoy reading. Thank you.